It may be no coincidence that Duffy Counsell's 10th anniversary as the Leadville Ski Joring organizer and the Year of the Fire Horse will intersect on historic Harrison Avenue in 2026. In Planet Leadville's Part 2 interview with the natural showman behind one of Leadville's premier legacy events, Duffy sits down with Planet Leadville to reflect on the last decade. The past 10 years included 2019 Snowmageddon, then slipping through the COVID rings in 2020, only to have to completely reconfigure the racetrack to McWethy Drive in 2021, then back to historic Harrison Avenue for the 75th anniversary of the Grandaddy of Em All in 2023. Come, celebrate Duffy's decade. Hear him share his memories, including what it's like to be the volunteer organizer for Leadville Ski Joring. Viewers can find Part 1 of this interview on the Planet Leadville YouTube channel. Then like, share, and subscribe. It's free.
I'm glad I only competed as well as helped organize the event. And that's important. I'm often cast into the spotlight as, the event organizer. Like, no, there are so many people that are involved, including our, Paul Copper and Jason Dahl and Barb Brink, fellow board members. Talis Schreiber has certainly come into Lions roar type capacity with the horsepower and bandwidth he brings to the team. Countless community members, city, county, police, fire. It's one of, to me, from the very beginning, and it's only continued to get a little bit stronger every year. It is astonishing to me the amount of community involvement and desire to be a part of, in whatever way, shape, or form. I mean, my favorite parts so far are when I can find a business in town or an entity in town that can, in kind, provide what they do to another sponsoring company or entity or organization that helps them help us. Like, that's where everybody helps each other out to create the Granddaddy of Em All. COVID year was one for the ages, and in that cancel culture time, it's just one example of how proud I am of everyone that's involved in the event. MVP of that year was undoubtedly Michael Irwin with County Road and Bridge. He's who identified, hey, I think there might be enough, straight, slight downhill pitch with a nice, smooth run-out turn onto the McWethy extension. We'll pull all the street signs. I still get comments from competitors who were here that year asking, when can we go back to historic McWethy Drive? And it was a blast. Another vivid memory from that was my first run of Saturday. It was one of the last years I skied. First run, first jump, over towards first single ring, boom, down. Ski came off, went right through. Jody's made, those indestructible bases for the ring standards, and ended up with one of the biggest hematomas I've ever had, and the majority of my thigh was, so I limped around the rest of the weekend. I didn't compete on Sunday. I tried to do another run that Saturday, but couldn't even make it off for the second jump. I was in so much pain. So that was, McWethy was a course I never finished. There's the short version. Or here's another memory. I think it was before that. It was 2019 when we got 36 inches of snow during the event. And that was, if my memory serves, that was like right before we had several, unrecorded 100-year avalanche events in the Central Rocky Mountains. Places where snow had slid that had no prior recording of it happening. Up to, the year before COVID, right? COVID hit literally like 2 or 3 days after ski joring concluded. The world was nearly shut down within about 5-7 days of the end of ski joring. Was something that blew my mind. Like, how did we get to pull that off? And then you heard about, first cases, and the first case over in Keystone, I think was where it was, to the 75th, right? If my math's correct, I think that was 2023. Yeah. And that was one where I saw that one coming and thought, boy, what an honor, what a privilege. We really tried to roll out stops paid the competitors who won nearly double what our normal payouts were. Didn't tell anybody, though, in typical Leadville fashion. Created some just outstanding buckles for that year, jackets for that year. We had the 519 Special Forces Group Airborne, the Army National Guard, work hand in hand with the 10th Mountain Division, attend that year, allowed us to honor them with our national anthem, the last of Joe Manley Jr.'s, you know, and then around that time was when things started happening in the sky over the event, which unfortunately I'm not at liberty to speak to, but sure seems cool, and I know that the town finds that extremely special on an extra special weekend. And also 75th, and I remember thinking vividly after that, like, how do you top this? How do you top this? And I have that exact same feeling again going into my 10th, Leadville 78th, 2026. How do you top last year? We're all kind of big believers in the universe always balances. So I've been saying for months already, like, expect 4 degrees and nuclear sideways winter for this year's event. I don't think it's going to be super sunny, beachy like we had last year, and obviously aligned with our primary focus of horse safety, we would like to put in an official request for some lower temperatures this year. Okay. Whoever is listening.
Right.
But yeah, preparations are well in the works. I always look back on it and realize that it's fun, right? I'm not a professional event organizer. I never have been. Yeah. Well, and with the help of a lot of our friends and community members, that's one of the cooler things. I don't enjoy saying no to people, but I do take pride in saying I'm sorry when I explain it to, a lot of outside vendors and companies who, that's what they do for a living. They make money at events for their businesses and bring something else to the table. In Leadville, unless it's local, we don't need it. The objective is for us to bring money into our community.
Right.
Not see it go back out of our community. And so it's kind of a double-edged win. I don't know if that's the right term or not, but the town sure knows that it's their opportunity to shine. And it seems like it's been a lot of fun for us to figure out how many more businesses can we, right? We're going to explore with some food trucks. That's right. Local Leadville food trucks. And I think they'll be on East 6th, across from the Lions Club Brat tent. Behind the merch tent seems the right place for it. Helps out a couple other businesses in town, as well as, I'm hopeful, gets spectators a little food in their bellies a little quicker. So small movements in the right direction. We've done some tremendous and responsible growth these last 10 years. I'm not certain that the next 10 can mirror that amount of growth. I don't think I'm alone to say the last year that was closer to tilt than it was, hey, we could have way more people in town. And so I'm anxious. I'm anxious and I'm appreciative in advance, during, and after of just everybody's commitment to a tradition that's not like many others. I sure hope we get to make it to 100 years. I'm not certain if I will, but I'm really hoping that Leadville gets to make it to 100 years. That'd be pretty special.
Well, as we showcase some of we call it the Parade of Champions, or the Parade of Contestants. This is your ultimate division right here, getting a pretty good look at the track.
Thanks for watching part 2 of the 2026 interview with Leadville Ski Joring organizer Duffy Counsell. For part 1, check out the Planet Leadville YouTube channel. This Planet Leadville video was produced in Studio PB. Both holdings are owned and operated by The Great Pumpkin, a digital media company established in 2011 in Leadville, Colorado.